Well, good afternoon, good evening, DCL fans. How are you guys doing?
Hi.
Welcome. Chris, how are you? Oh, we lost him already.
I see him. I just don't hear him.
Yeah, well, we'll let Chris work at his audio. I'm sure he'll have it here in just a second. Christy, how are you doing today?
I was muted.
Oh, there he is. How are you doing today,
I feel
Chris?
like I've been talking to you for the past 5 minutes and neither of you have been responding to me because you couldn't hear me. So now I understand. Okay, hi.
Well, big day today, opening day for the Disney Wish, and not only for Concierge 25 plus, but also for some DVC sailors as well. And we've got two of them that are going to be joining us here in just a couple seconds to talk about booking today. But Christy, how did it go for you today?
I didn't have any people today.
Okay.
So, I mean, it went fine.
Did you follow it at all, or were you guys?
I did.
Were you guys following it? Okay. Any initial thoughts there about opening day here?
Well, so that DVC cruise that we're going to talk about in a minute sold out today, but anybody could have booked today. So if somebody wanted it, Concierge is already sold out on the maiden voyage. So for June 9th, including the cabin that was $48,000, was the last cabin of Concierge standing is gone.
And then Jennifer Lopez just called in and booked it. I just picked any millionaire I could think of. But I feel like it's a very expensive cabin.
For two people, by the way. Two.
Oh, that price is for two. But how much would it go up per person? Like, if you had the 48,000, that's probably not that much, right?
No idea.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's like a first of its kind. The video that they released today on the Disney Cruise Line YouTube channel was sort of trying to compare it to the Castle Suite in Cinderella Castle. They're sort of a once in a lifetime stay in the funnel of a Disney ship. So I get it. They're trying to make it ultra premium Tesla pricing.
Well, there's still some cabins. There's still some cabins available. So if anybody hasn't been following along, for parties of two, I looked at it, this is about an hour ago. It may have changed a little bit, but inside cabins we're going for $58.19. Once again, this is for two people.
It's already up.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. The Ocean View was going for $60.69. Veranda for $63.69, and that Concierge, like you said, is already gone. So. So that the inaugural one's booking quickly. And then, as you said, today, they also had the second sailing, which is going to be June 14th to the 17th, featuring, it's a 3-day cruise, which DVC, I guess, bought the whole ship, huh?
Yeah, apparently. So you had to be a DVC member with a blue card, booking with points. And that sold out.
Yeah. Quickly. So, but you only had to have one person on points, right?
Right. Only one person on points. And they are really calling people or sending invoices in 3 days or something. So is one of the things I read. So maybe some people will leave.
Yeah. Well, let's bring in our two guests today. This is kind of new to us, so hopefully this is going to work correctly. So everybody following along that has been following us here at the Cove, so we're going to bring in our two guests, Holly and Brad. They both were able to book DVC today. And let's find out, thank you, Siri, how the process went for them. So let's add them into our show. And I'd like to welcome today, as I click out everybody, Holly and Brad. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Well, thanks for joining us. And congratulations to both of you for being able to book the second sailing on the Disney Wish today.
Woo.
Yeah.
So I was a little nervous. I know. I think I was messaging Holly this morning, and she told me at 8:00 she was still on the line, or no, I think it was 8:30 that you were still on the line, and all of a sudden you messaged me right back, and that you'd gotten through, huh?
Well, we started calling just before 8:00, and immediately the phone lines were down. Couldn't get through. I was stressing. So my husband took his cell phone and he started calling. And then I took the landline because we're one of the few people who still have a landline. And I was doing the landline and the cell phone, and he was doing his cell phone. And at 25 after 8, the landline went through. Now, during that 25-minute time period, we got through a couple of times, and we would press the prompts and it would say, welcome and which cruise do you want and all that. And then it would come back and it'd say, sorry, we're busy. Call back some other time.
Oh no!
And it would disconnect you. So that was pretty bad. But at 8:25, we got through on the landline, and about 10 after 9, they picked up, and finally, and we were able to get what we wanted. I actually think we got a pretty good stateroom. So
cool. Well, hold that for just a second, Brad. How did it go for you?
So me and my mom met at our business, and my mom was calling from the landline, so the landline and I was trying from the cell phone, and we started actually a couple minutes before 8. I tried a couple minutes earlier to see if it would actually work, and it was saying they were closed till 9 actually, and I'm like, no, it says 8 online. And then about 7:58 we called, and it's ringing busy. I'm like, okay, maybe they're switching over to lines, no big deal. And then at 8 it's still ringing busy, and I'm like, oh no, Disney shouldn't ring busy. I'm on hold for 4 hours, but don't ring busy. But 8:02, 8:03, my mom got in on the landline, no problem. And then it told her a 78-minute wait, but we ended up waiting like 40 minutes.
So the moral of the story is everybody needs to go and get a landline.
Yeah.
If they want to book.
It's sort of like the controversy on Rise of the Resistance, whether you use Disney's Wi-Fi or your own cell phone plan, right?
Yes.
So let's talk for a second. Why did you guys, and we can start with you, Holly, but why did you want to book this DVC cruise specifically?
Okay, well, we had extra points this year because of trips that got canceled last year. And, you know, because I'm retired, but my husband's not, you can only go on so many vacations in a year when you have a job. So we just kind of looked at it, and we knew we had to pay points for the first person. And early when the points came out, somebody posted where they had gone on the DVC site, and it actually showed the cash price, and they did a screenshot, but then DVC pulled it down really fast. So if those prices were correct, I knew what the cash price was going to be, and I didn't think it was all that bad. So it was just the whole getting ready to be on one of the very first sailings. I mean, I know the points were insane for a 3-night cruise, but kind of a once in a lifetime thing. And it's just going to be my husband and I. Usually we do multi-generational cruises where we bring our kids and our grandkids and everything. But this was just going to be the two of us, so it wasn't quite as painful. So
it makes sense in one small way to me, which is the whole point of this first time on the Wish is not going to be to get off to literally see anything. It really is to experience all it has to offer. And a 3-night cruise does let you eat in each of the restaurants one night. Yep. My personal preference would be a 4-night, so I could also eat at Palo Steakhouse. Or maybe if I was feeling adventurous, what's it called? Enchanté. But yeah, so I can see the appeal of a 4-night on the Wish because it's like a brand new ship, and really all you want to do is be able to experience what it has to offer. So that's exciting. What about you, Brad? How did you get through?
So actually, my parents are the DVC owners, but me and my wife love cruising. I've loved cruising. I got my wife into it, and actually, my mom has never been on a cruise, and we're supposed to go on our first Disney cruise, her first cruise ever, in December on the Dream. And I think we just had extra points, and it was kind of getting on the new ship, and it was just the excitement of everything just kind of got us wanting to get on. And then personally, I feel like a lot of y'all, 3 nights I've always kind of shied away from. I did more 4 and 5 and a 7, but 3 I'm like, it seems kind of rushed. But we also own a local ice cream shop, and being off more than 3 days in the middle of summer is kind of tough. So it was like, and being there in the middle of the week also worked in our favor because the weekends are busier times. So my dad was kind of pushing us. He's like, y'all should go. He's like, well, you're going to let us off work. See ya.
Wait, no, I gotta ask, how does the ice cream compare on the Disney ship compared to
what's your thoughts on it? I haven't been on a Disney ship yet.
Oh, this is the first time. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
wow.
I did Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and Norwegian, but I haven't did Disney yet. But if it's anything like their ships, Yeah, their ice cream doesn't even hold a candle. we're the same kind of ice cream. We're soft serve.
Okay. So just looking at the points, actually, and I'm not going to go through the point chart, but I pulled up the 4-night 2018 Disney Dream DVC member cruise, which I know this isn't a DVC member cruise, but the points were significantly higher for that 2018 sailing than they were for this one. So did you look at that at all, Holly?
We actually went on that cruise.
Oh, did you? Okay.
The 2018. It was a lot of fun. We did not use points for it, though. It was a lot of fun, but I mean, this one's not going to be a member cruise. So we're not going to, most probably not going to have the gifts in the stateroom every night and the speakers and all of that like you had on the member cruise. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun. They're pricey. That's another one where it's just my husband and I, and we didn't bring the kids and the grandkids. So, but it was fun.
So, Chris, any questions there? Any thoughts?
I mean, I think I'm the only person, well, I guess Brad too, on this call who's not a DVC member, but the member gifts that they give on those membership cruises is like reason enough for me to want to be a DVC member because I, it's fine to get chocolate and like a towel animal when you get back to your room, but imagine going back to your room and getting like a gift that you can't buy or like get anywhere else. Yeah. I think that's really cool. So I think that would be Disney speaking my love language. So I would definitely like to go on a DVC member cruise one day. Now you did point out, and Christy and Steve and I were texting, and Christy told us that it wasn't considered a member cruise. So what do you think will be very different between this cruise and a member cruise? You think maybe no gifts, no special speakers, anything else that was very different about your member cruise before?
I mean, I know they say no gifts, and I know they say it's going to be the same programming as what they normally have. I sort of feel like there might be a gift or two since it's kind of like inaugural and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I could be totally wrong, and it's okay. It won't kill me.
I think they give maybe a gift or two. I don't know about the speaker aspect because I don't think people are going to want to spend time at a speaker as much.
Good point there. Yeah,
that's
right.
Actually that is a really good point. Yeah. I feel like someone on Facebook was asking, what's going to be special about the member cruise? Why, or not the member cruise, the inaugural cruise? Why is it so expensive? And one reason it's expensive is the bragging rights to go on the maiden voyage. But also, Disney in the past and almost every cruise line will give some sort of commemorative thing to be like you were on the first sailing ever. So we could expect that Disney's not going to give that for free, as Christy would say. It's included in the upcharge. And so whatever gift they're giving, they've probably calculated that. But for those of you who don't get to go on the DVC cruise or the very first sailing, they will 100% have inaugural season merchandise that you can only get on the ship. So you'll have something that says that you were in that first summer sailing on the Wish.
Right.
So we had a question right before we started too. So when you guys booked this one, I think I heard something like they took your information and then they're supposed to call you back. Is that how it worked? And I'm not sure, Brad, you can talk about it, or Holly, either one of you.
They're supposed to call you within the next 72 hours, I guess, to get where you want your points if you have multiple contracts taken off of, and then you got to pay in full.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Which what did you actually accomplish? Like what was accomplished on this call?
Just the reserving.
What dining we wanted.
Okay, so it's basically like you booked without paying because they need time to get that all organized.
Well, the scary part is you go and you choose your stateroom, okay? And the lady that I had on the phone was wonderful, except I don't really know that she knew that. I think she was more DVC than Disney Cruise. So I would say stuff I would say on the starboard side of the ship, and she'd be like naming things on the port side and stuff. So, I mean, she was really great. And we finally decided on a stateroom. But then before she hangs up, she gives me this reference number. And then she says, now, just to let you know, this is your stateroom number. However, when they call you back, you might not get that stateroom. You might get another one.
Oh,
Because it's not guaranteed. And that kind of,
we were guaranteed in the category, but the room could possibly change. And I don't know if they changed how the configurations or something could change or.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing.
So, well, let's just talk about it. Which stateroom were you guys looking for, and were you able to get what you wanted to book? And let's just jump with you first, Brad, I guess.
Well, reading it online, we thought that because it tells you to have 3 options. So we thought you were going to have to give them your 3 options. And then when they called back, they would tell you, okay, this is available. And that's not how it worked. So we were trying to go a little higher points thinking, okay, people may not book the higher points. So we were going to go for the concierge, the family Ocean View, but they were sold out by the time we got in, which I don't think there's many of them. And so we ended up going with 4A category, the family Ocean View with veranda.
So the concierge Ocean View, that means it doesn't have a veranda. Are those the ones that are above the bridge in the forward of the ship?
I'm not sure. Christy,
Christy's like, they are. Yeah, so that's a brand new thing. There was before now never a concierge room that didn't have outdoor space, but now they're like, wait a minute, will you trade your outdoor space for a really cool view that's basically the same view that the captains are getting right one deck below you? So that would have been a cool room to book, but you're basically
the price difference wasn't that much from like a 4A or 4B to get a concierge level, get on the boat earlier, get the benefits of concierge.
Right.
How about you, Holly? What did you guys end up booking?
We ended up getting a 5B.
Okay.
So that's a deluxe ocean view with veranda. I have to have a veranda. I'm claustrophobic. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it so that I can always get my veranda. But I originally said, I think I wanted a 6A or B. I think, Christy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's like the cheaper of the verandas. But I knew I didn't want deck 6 and I knew I didn't want deck 10. So, and she told me that 6A and B were already sold out. So then we went to the 5s and I said, okay, just give me midship on any floor, any, deck that's not 6 or 10. And so I got a 5B. So pretty happy with it. I think it's a really good location. I mean, if I end up getting that particular stateroom, it actually looks like it's got a little bit of an extended veranda, not much, because it's on that curve on the side that stick out on the sides. So if I get it, it looks like it'll be pretty good.
That's the same. Ours is on the curve too, and so it looks a little bigger, but I made the mistake because we had 4A as decks 11 and 10, and I was thinking, okay, I didn't look at the map. I made the mistake. I thought, okay, if 11 and 10 are the floors, probably 12 is where the pool is. So I said, give me deck 10.
So you actually did better because it's better to be not just below the
the pool's on 11 on this.
So you are the deck below it.
Yeah.
Well,
some people don't notice though. Some people honestly say they don't notice. So you may be one of those people.
Yeah.
So we went on the Norwegian Getaway, which is made by Marverft as well, and we had one of those verandas like you guys have with the curve on it, and ours faced forward, and we loved it because you go out on it, you're kind of looking forward. You could, and it still had plenty of room to look back, so you got a good view of the. If I'm understanding right, as far as like the ones you guys had with a little bit of the curve.
Yeah.
So I think it's a cool option that they've added onto the Wish, and it just gives you like a different view when you go out on the veranda rather than just straight. And you got to kind of look around because you can go out on the veranda and you're just kind of looking straight, but you don't get the wind. It doesn't feel like the wind's just rushing at you when you're sailing. So
I'm pretty sure any room that's in that curve is a deluxe family that can sleep 5, and the veranda rooms that aren't in the curves sleep 4. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so, because ours is not the family, but it's on the very end of the curve. And I was concerned at first because when you click on the map on the website, it says something about when you click on that stateroom, something to the effect of 7As might have partially obstructed views. And because I'm clicking on that, I'm thinking that means that's a 7A and it's got a partially obstructed view. And I didn't want an obstructed view because I like my balcony and I sit out there a good bit. But the cast member I spoke to said no, that it was really it's a 5B, it's not a 7A. So I'm really not sure why it has that message about, 7As having partially obstructed views, if that's not, because not all of the staterooms would say that when you would click on it. So it's kind of odd, but
it's interesting.
I don't know. Yeah. So,
well, anything else as far as booking it that you guys want to talk about today? Just that experience, or anything that we haven't covered at all? No. Okay.
I mean, I'll feel better when they've called and gotten my money and confirmed it. Though it makes me very nervous that they have called.
But then we don't get a confirmation number for like a month. So
yeah.
Which dining did you both choose?
I did second dining.
Yeah, since it's just me, my mom, and wife, we did second dining.
The adult dining.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We always do the early when we've got the grandkids and everybody with us, but for this, since it's just the two of us, second dining. So.
Sure. Well, I was wondering because if you had picked first, it might have been sold out by the time you got through. Who knows? Usually it's the first dining that goes the fastest.
Yeah, I saw people complaining that it was sold out by the time they got on. They offered us early, but I wanted it late since just adults.
Right.
Did they have a time on it already? Out of curiosity.
No, they just asked me.
No, that's okay. So, well, you kind of thinking about the ship. You guys have seen everything that we have. The big 30-minute reveal and things since then. I guess we'll just start with you, Holly, this time. What were some of the things that you're excited about to experience on the Wish? Whether it's the dining, Chris's Star Wars lounge, which is coming,
or Christie's Marvel restaurant.
I mean, definitely.
What are some of the things you're excited about, Holly?
For this particular cruise, the adult areas, I like that the Cove is now really going to be an adult area. You won't have people, kids running through that like you do on some of the others. I like that kind of infinity pool thing that they've got up in the front. We're big on Satellite Falls when it's just the two of us on a Disney cruise. We like it up there if the wind doesn't blow us away because it can get really windy. But just the adult areas I'm excited about, and I'm probably going to get the name wrong. Is it
1923?
20. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I think that'll be great. I'm trying to think what else.
And the slide down to the kids club, you're going to go on that.
Please let me do
it. Yeah, no.
You beat me to the punch. I was going to ask Brad if he was going to do it. But,
there you
go.
Yeah.
I will not miss this slide.
How about you, Brad? What are some of the things you're excited about getting on the Wish?
Number one, Star Wars hyperspace. Get me in there some way, somehow. We were talking about it. We don't know how it's going to be set up. I'm like, there's no way that they're not going to get most of this boat in there if they can, because they got to make money.
Yeah.
The Marvel dinner, which my mom probably knows less than Christy does about Marvel, so it's going to be interesting to see her in there with it.
I don't think it's possible to know less than I do, so
I might know less. I might know less.
Character yet, so maybe one or two.
Holly, are you going to try to go to Palo on the Marvel dinner night, or are you still just going to go to the Marvel dinner and see what it's like?
I don't know. I'm not a big Marvel person. What can I say? Probably, I don't know, maybe try Palo. I'm hoping to get Palo for brunch because we've never been able to get that. And we were supposed to get it back in November on a cruise, which of course got canceled. So I don't know. I'm not a big Marvel person.
I am hoping to go on a 3-night with my husband for our anniversary, and one of the cruises falls over our anniversary, so it would be like the perfect, and we were supposed to do a trip this year, and it's just not going to work out. So like next year, So we've already discussed that we will skip when it's just the two of us. We will try to go to Palo on the Marvel dinner night and skip it. And then when I go with my family, I will go and I will be a good sport and I will learn the things. I will have watched some sort of Marvel movie. I asked in our Patreon group what I should watch. So they've already given me some tips. There was something about a shirtless man that was in there as a choice for me. So I will.
Christy, if you hear more about what it's going to all entail, because we still don't really know exactly what the whole show, I guess.
I feel like I should know anything about Marvel except that little Groot thing, which I clearly don't know either, but the little tree guy. That's literally all I know about Marvel. And like Spider-Man. That's it. And I saw a Spider-Man movie, so that counts. I have seen, right? That counts as a Marvel movie. I saw the first one 200 years ago. So that's where my Marvel knowledge ends.
Well, it's time to fast forward to the future, and when you get on the Wish, and get you caught up in the in that dinner show. How about the Aquamouse, Brad? Are you an Aqua Duck or Aqua Dunk fan at all? Or you haven't been on it. Why do I keep asking that? I'm sorry.
You're not going to tell me. I would ride all of them.
Okay.
We took Alaska. I took the Bliss, and they had the drop slide on there, and it was broken when I was on there, and I was.
Oh no.
I didn't care what the temperature was. I was going on the drop slide, and it was broken the whole trip. So I was very disappointed. So I think I would probably like the Aqua Dunk better, just because I like the thrill. But I'll ride any of them.
What about you, Holly?
Yeah, no.
Even with little Mickey and Minnie on there?
Well, I might. I can tell you, I've never been on. Is it the Magic that's got the Aqua Dunk? Right?
Yeah.
Is that the Magic? Okay. We were supposed to go on that back in November. But there's no way I would get on that one. The new ship, maybe. I don't know. I'm a sit in the sun and read a book kind of person when I'm on a cruise. So I'm boring.
Same, but I will go on that because I love the Mickey and Minnie shorts.
Yeah.
I love the Runaway Railway. And so if it's anything similar, then I will go on a water ride now. I'm not usually a water ride person, but one time.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Runaway Railway also, so I might do it. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And even my wife, who wanted to protest it because they took out the Great Movie Ride, enjoyed the ride. So
she's become a convert. Well, anything else about the ship, guys, that you're excited about that they've released so far? I know there's still a lot to come between now and when you guys sail, as far as some of the experiences that are going to be on there. They really haven't talked about the adult areas at all, have they, Holly?
Not really. I mean, they've shown the pictures and, it's got there's like an infinity pool or something, or a hot tub that looks like an infinity pool, something like that. That's all I've seen, but I will be checking it out when we're on the ship, without a doubt. So, yeah.
How about you, Brad? Anything else about the ship or anything that's been released that you're excited about?
Yeah, the Cove. I mean, being able to just go with my mom and my wife, the Cove would be a good place to hang out and enjoy a drink. And then I forgot today, I was watching a video in the Rose. The Rose would be, because my wife loves Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is your wife Brittany?
Yep.
She just put on the comments, Team Great Movie Ride.
And we did Enchanted Rose at Grand Floridian back in December, and it was really good. So
yeah, that's a neat space.
Less money in your pocket though. It's an expensive place. I mean, it is very pretty.
It was very expensive, but we hadn't been out the Disney's. That was almost a year because we had COVID, and then we had a daughter, and then so it was like, no, I don't care.
The Chris, the Enchanted Rose at the Grand Floridian, where they took out Meisner's or whatever it was called.
Right. I mean, I don't know the Grand Floridian well, but I have obviously read up on this particular place. I feel like the Beauty and the Beast theming in restaurants has been a real hit for Disney, because the Beauty and the Beast restaurant in Magic Kingdom I ate there, and it was nice. It's a little too atmospheric. Like, it's not a place where you're like, let's sit and talk. It's like, let's sit, especially for in the library where it's just like lightning and thunder and flashing the whole time and you can't see your food. But they sell out constantly there. They have this new restaurant at the Grand Floridian. They changed Pinocchio's at Disneyland to be the Red Rose Tavern as a temporary thing for the Emma Watson Beauty and the Beast. And then there was a line out the door constantly, so they permanently changed it to be the Red Rose Tavern because they were selling so much more food there. So I feel like Disney's like taking note, and they're like, I think we need to do more Beauty and the Beast restaurants. So I get why they did it, but I'm still holding out for like Coco, Moana, some of these other things.
So this Grand Floridian, really quick, a fun fact, you guys. So we do some mobile ordering sometimes where we'll get dinner from the resorts and bring it back. And I was trying to figure out what we would eat, what the adults would eat, and what my son would eat. And so at the two restaurants, I was just looking at the mac and cheese. He eats like regular food, but sometimes he likes mac and cheese. The mac and cheese at the Grand Floridian is $1.50 more than the mac and cheese for the kids meal at the Polynesian. Same mac and cheese, same little cup of mac and cheese, same one side dish, same little beverage that you can have with it, $1.50 more. Everything is the same except for the price.
That's weird.
They know their clientele.
They know their clientele, that's for sure. Exactly.
If you want to save $1.50, go next door and get your mac and cheese.
Well, I guess
I would totally go next door, by the way, and get the mac and cheese because I'm weird like that.
I know that you would, but when you say next door, you mean a quarter of the way around the lagoon.
I mean, it's next door.
Yeah. You know what else is next door?
It's not that bad of a walk, but for $1.50.
I think it is not worth $1.50, but we're different.
Well, but if you're gonna eat quick service and you have a choice, like I do, like where am I gonna order my quick service? And if he's going to eat it,
that makes sense.
Then we'll just get it.
You just
from
drive
the
up for free.
I mean, they don't ever charge you to park. So I have during spring break, I was turned away and like almost cried because I literally almost cried because I was so desperate for dinner that night and we were getting Kona and I was like $78 worth of dinner. I did not want to go home and figure out what we were going to cook. And they eventually let me in, but they were like keeping people away so that they wouldn't park and go or cancel their order. But I'm like, I'm ordering real food. Look, I said, yes, charge me. Please let me have my food. And, but then, like today, we actually ordered from the Poly because we didn't feel like cooking. My son just ate something from home, but yeah, they let me in, no problem. I didn't even have to show him today the mobile order. So it just depends on the week.
First world problems there. First world problems there, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you what.
Hey, listen, if you don't want to cook dinner, it is a problem if they don't let you pick up your dinner.
Okay, so this cruise is a 3-day, and it's a day at sea, and it's also a Castaway. I tried to look it up, but is it a day at sea first, then Castaway, or vice versa? Do you guys know?
Day at sea and then Castaway.
Okay, day at sea, then Castaway. Let's talk about Castaway a little bit. I know. Okay, so Brad, you haven't been there, but Holly, what's your normal day at Castaway look like?
Depends on the cruise. If it's just my husband and I, we will go to Serenity Bay and just hang out down there, just the two of us. If the grandkids are all with us, it's a totally different thing. It's a lot of fun, but we get off the ship early, find enough chairs for those that are going to sit, and everybody does their thing. Sometimes we'll take the littler ones and send them over to the kids club and let them, the kids club that's there on Castaway, and let them, hang out and play a little bit, or they'll go play, we'll take them to the little splash pad area and, get a few frosty beverages and,
Brad, have you been to the private islands of some of the other cruise lines? And if so, what do you like to do on an island, I guess? What's your kind of day like?
So I've been just on Carnival. Yeah, Royal Caribbean one got canceled. But, well, this will be different on a Disney. So like we're going to December, and I'll have my daughter, so we'll probably just hang out at the family beach area, just do that. And I'll run the Castaway Key 5K on that one. But when we go for this trip, we'll probably go to Serenity Bay, hang out in the adult area, and have more frosty beverages in December.
I still have not made it over to Serenity Bay. Chris, any tips for Brad for the 5K?
Oh, I still think it's wild that you've never been to Serenity Bay, but I'll move on. The
I've
5K,
never been to Serenity Bay either.
All right.
10 cruises.
Well, leave it to the dual income, no kids family over here.
You too, one day will have your time to not be able to go to Serenity Bay.
I know. I've soaked it up. I mean, last time we were at Serenity Bay, there was a shark in the water, and they had to make everyone go in. But
that's why we're taking advantage. My daughter doesn't go on the Wish trip, so we can go to Serenity Bay.
Yeah, I mean, Serenity Bay is nice because it's like quiet, and you literally can't even see the Disney ship. So it's like you literally feel like you're just on a deserted island, and you're looking out as far as the ocean can stretch. So that's a cool part of the island, but it's not where the kids have fun. The 5K. They've gotten way better at it, actually. It used to be like a whole production and kind of like a burden to do because it was like, you have to meet here at 4 a.m. and you have to, it's just like, okay, can y'all calm down? And now it's just sort of like, here's your bib, here's your stuff. When you get on the island, you can start running it whenever you feel like it. And so, yeah, it's fun. And you get a medal. And they recently changed the medal right before the pandemic. So, it should be fun. I recommend. It's a nice way to spend vacation, I feel, because it's not like you're that active on the ship.
It's blue now instead of red.
Mine's blue.
Is it blue too? Oh.
Mine's blue too.
I got a blue one and a red one, I guess. The last one I got was a blue one, I guess. So, well, just have a great time on Castaway, Brad. It's a good time. Would either of you guys, or Holly, have you done any of the excursions on Castaway? We got lucky and did the parasailing once. But have you ever tried any of those?
Our daughters did, when they were like teenagers, they did the parasailing. It seems like every time we go, the parasailing gets canceled because of winds. I'm trying to think if we've ever done. Oh, the Stingrays.
Oh yeah.
My oldest grandson did that on our last cruise together, and he and my daughter did it, and he really liked it. She says it was a little creepy, but she did it with him, and they enjoyed it. I'm trying to think if we've really done it. I don't think we've done any excursions on Castaway.
Yeah, it's sort of set up like if you didn't, you would still just have a great day.
Yeah.
I also have done the parasailing, but it was because Steve said it would get canceled. So I was like, great, let's just throw it in there since we're not probably going to get to do it. And then when it happened, we were like, do we have $500 for this? I guess we do.
Did it feel worth it?
Yeah, no. So the cool thing is you're like 300 feet in the air. So like you're above the ship, and we happened to go past the ship when it was our turn. So it was literally like we were like above the ship sailing past it, behind it. And that was like really iconic. And it was me and my husband, and we were sort of like, thinking we're probably never going to do this again. So it felt special in that way. It's also, I mean, everyone says this, so I'm not unique, but it's really quiet and peaceful up there. It's not what you imagine. It doesn't feel turbulent. It just feels like, wow, I'm floating 300 feet in the air, and I could look around and see as far as the eye can see over the ocean.
Were you together?
Yeah, we were tandem.
And okay. And is it just you two together?
Yes, but the boat has other groups. And so you are sort of sitting on a boat with strangers while they take their turn, which is like, that's fine, I guess. We also, from that high up, could see different animals in the water, and you could see where they dredged out the sand from under the ship so that it could fit and dock. because you're just so high that you can see the topography of the ocean in a way you wouldn't normally be able to see it. So honestly,
oh my God, that's so cool.
I was really fascinated by it. Also, the island is only, I'm going to get the number wrong, so just know this isn't the exact number, but Disney's only allowed to, let's say, develop 20% of the island. So the vast majority of the island is just an island and like not accessible. So when you're up that high, you can really see, you know, the rest of the island where nobody can go. So that's cool too.
But you could bring a phone up there with you, could you?
You could, and they would say, if you drop it, we don't care.
Did you bring it?
Yeah, I did. I have video.
Sweet.
Yeah, I have like a pretty good video, but I had it tied to my wrist and inside of a thing so that if it fell, it wouldn't fall into the water. But yeah, we got a really cool video of the whole thing. And Steve, actually, the reason we brought our phone is because Steve was like, I wish I had a GoPro or something, because he didn't get any footage of his flight.
Yeah, I totally wimped out. I should have brought what you had as far as those plastic things that I should have went and bought one down at the store there on the ship and brought it.
I have some for my clients. So
do you
are my client and you book a cruise with me. Remind me if I don't remember to send you one on your own, but I will send you the little holders for your
waterproof cell phone holder. Yeah.
Did you hear that, Chris? So if we book a cruise anytime soon, we may be able to get
pay full price for the cruise to get my gifts. Just something to keep in mind.
so we can't just book it and cancel it 2 weeks later once the gifts show up.
No,
that's not a very customer-friendly policy.
Well, Christy and Chris, any other questions about the ship or the Wish, or asking Brad or Holly anything here?
Did they tell you anything else? Like, did they say anything to you about it? Like, give you any kind of feedback or tidbit or little tiny something we all want to know about?
Not for me.
Okay.
Not me either. I don't even know. I know with the DVC member cruise that we did in 2018, your gratuities were included in the price and something else. I can't remember. Something else was included, but they never mentioned that. So I don't think they're included on this one. But they really didn't give me much information at all. I'm guessing when they call back to get my money, they, might say something. I don't know.
Well, report back if they do, please.
Yes.
I mean, I have a feeling that's the reason they're not calling it a member cruise, because they're going to be charging other fees that normally wouldn't be associated. But I mean, honestly, it's amazing that they're even doing this. I feel. I mean, I feel like to get 3 days on the ship is Disney proving that they care a lot about looking like an added value to DVC members. And they're not slowing down. The pandemic did not slow down the fact that they still are moving forward with the Disneyland Tower. They're still probably going to continue building a new DVC resort at Disney World until the entire property is just DVC resorts. So,
I'm okay with that.
The question becomes, do they do like something like this for the Star Wars hotel?
That would be amazing.
Maybe you should write into them and put that in their brains.
Depending on the value, I would love to do it. I had to talk my mom into it, but
where do you guys own? Where's your guys' resorts? Or I know it's your parents, Brad, but where are your home resorts at?
Copper Creek and Riviera.
Okay.
Also, recent DVC converts.
18, I think they bought their first one in 2018.
Yeah, that's when Copper Creek went on sale.
Yeah.
What about you, Holly?
We bought in 1998, showing my age here.
So recent DVC converts.
1998, yeah. And our points, the original points are at Hilton Head, and then we've added on a couple times with Old Key West, because my husband loves Old Key West. So.
Right. Old Key West has like legendary rooms because they're so big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A cult following too.
They started it.
Do you guys have a favorite place to stay? Have you been able to stay at the majority of them, or do you have a favorite resort there, Holly? Sounds like your husband's is Old Key West, but
my husband's is Old Key West. I like Copper Creek and Boulder Ridge and the Polynesian. I kind of like them all. I used to love the Polynesian, but we went there back in February and it was kind of a less than magical trip. And it's not due to COVID because we'd already been there once before once they opened up after COVID. It just, I don't know, it didn't feel right. But
was
it before the remodel?
Yeah. Is it because the lobby's gone?
That's a lot of it. And I don't know. It just wasn't the best trip, but that's okay. I'll stay there again. I have no problem trying it out again. But I mean, I kind of like them all. I'm not really picky, but I do like the ones that are at the Wilderness Lodge, and I do like the Polynesian, and I do love Old Key West just because those rooms are so big.
Have you ever stayed in the overwater bungalows?
No, I don't have that kind of points.
You don't have 1,000 points a night? That's
no.
It's on our bucket list. My mom said that if she wants to try all of them. We're staying in the cabins in October for my daughter's first trip and my mom's 60th.
Oh,
birthday.
nice. The Copper Creek cabins are
Copper Creek cabins.
Those are the
Go
best
ahead.
the best rooms on property.
Yeah.
The best
Copper
rooms
Creek
kind
cabins?
of anywhere. Yeah, you could take that cabin and throw it anywhere else in the United States and just have yourself a fabulous little stay.
Yes.
They are like perfectly appointed. They are really great.
Yeah. We did stay in the Copper Creek for one night.
Okay.
We were doing a big family cruise in 2019, and we always like to try to get there the night before. And so we stayed in the Copper Creek cabin. And one little tidbit of advice, Brad, if you stay in the Copper Creek cabin and somebody has to sleep out in the common area on the sleeper sofa, make sure you notice that there's buttons on the walls to make the blinds go up. Because we had no clue, and my daughter and her husband and the kids were in that room, and they complained about how bright it was, and and the kids are playing around that morning as we're getting ready to leave, and they touch this button, and all these blinds go up, and it's like, oh gosh, wish we'd known that.
Luckily, I'm an Uber planner, so I watch YouTube videos and everything.
There you go.
So I did
Half
see
the fun of
that.
vacations.
Yeah.
I may be sleeping out there, so.
So Brad, what's one of your what are your family's favorite places that you guys have stayed at?
I'm torn. I love Copper Creek, and I probably would put it number one. Geyser Point, just love being there, and you're close enough to Magic Kingdom, but not close enough where you feel relaxed a little bit. You don't feel the Disney. You don't feel everybody crowded around, I guess. We stayed at Riviera. I'm about to do a second trip in August to Riviera. I loved it on the first trip. The Skyliner was a game changer. Not that if you had to tell me one that we didn't own. We just stayed at Beach Club, and I loved it.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So we got a couple of comments. Your wife says that the Polynesian's not the same without Trader Sam's. So I think it's that whole atmosphere thing, right, guys?
We were supposed to go in March, but we switched it to Beach Club.
Okay, yeah. And then Bruce over on YouTube says, try the bikes while you're on the island too. I've never done that, but that could be a fun way to spend an hour or two riding around on the bikes. Have you tried that, Christy?
Yes. We
lost her.
Christy's mad about the bikes. I've done the bikes.
Go ahead, Chris. I know you've done the bikes.
The bikes are fun. We did it with my mother-in-law, and she was like one and done. She was like, this is not a joy to me. Let's put the bikes away. But it was fun.
Those bikes they're a little wonky to me. We were like, what is wrong with these bikes? Are there enough air in the tires? Do we not know how to ride a bike?
They are like beach cruisers. So you gotta put some pedal into that metal. But also, really, the only thing the bikes, like, the main benefit of the bikes is that you can take the bike path out to this observation tower. But climbing that tower feels like you are tempting fate with your life because the whole thing kind of sways in the wind, and it just sort of feels like, Disney, did you have an engineer out here to check on this? Is this a safe tower for me to climb? But yeah, renting bikes is that you can rent them for an hour. So it's like a perfect hour-long activity.
Well, we got a couple more things to go over. If we want to jump into those quick, just some pricing. Not that we won't spend too much time on that for the other cruises that are still on sale. Besides this one, since it's already completely sold out, and a good job for you guys getting in and getting on this one. And then I thought we could talk a little bit about pricing, and then you could go over the booking, Christy. How's that? Does that work?
Sure.
All right. And
the
we have
thing with the pricing is, though, we have to watch it out. We have to watch because since Disney is changing the price as people book, which I really just think they shouldn't have been doing. They should have just priced it for what they want, at least for the first 2 weeks. Let these people book, my own opinion. And then, because people that are looking at the price then are going to get a little irritated. They literally had no choice. They were unable to book. And of course they were going to get
$1,000 more than I thought it would be. Yeah.
And it's $1,000 more.
I agree. I think it's just complicated because Disney's doing what they've always done, which is progressive pricing, where like the first opening day price is the cheapest, and then the further out you get, the more rooms they sell, the higher the cost. It's just like that system really rewards loyalty. Like it makes you want to become a platinum.
But not even a regular platinum, a platinum that takes 25 3-night cruises as opposed to people who actually even spend money on their cruises. It's a weird thing to reward.
Well, they're definitely rewarding a lot of Florida residents who do those 3-night cruises.
This is right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, just look at it. I'm not going to go through all the pricing, but it's running somewhere between opening day prices, somewhere between 4 and 17% higher for the inside, the ocean view, and the verandas. And the only thing that went down was concierge actually went down across the board. But I think that was initially just because they have more to sell. Chris, do you have a different opinion?
No, I mean, I think they also have inside or ocean view cabins.
Right.
And they might initially start it lower, but they're already bumping up. Like there's already different 3 nights that I'm looking at that have gone up over $1,000.
And it's probably because those ocean views are probably all gone, right?
Well, yeah. Or as they book up anyway, they're just
going up. So somebody asked me this question today, and I figured I'd throw it out to this group. Do you think that the platinum categories are here to stay for future bookings, guys?
I don't know. I think they're
up?
going to come up with a different way to split it up. I don't think that ultimately they'll leave it like this. The reason why we have to call is because Disney IT didn't even build these into their system. So when
a person has to verify the number of cruises you've been on.
Well, not that necessarily. It's that they didn't even go in and do the subcategories. So like during a normal opening day, yes, you can call, but you can also get online and book. And there's like a little drop-down number menu where you enter in your Castaway Club number. And because Disney did not preload the different platinum levels into their system, that's why we have to call to book, because they never used the IT people to actually do that. So I think if this was all here to stay forever, they would have made that a more permanent situation. They clearly had enough time, right? Like how much was Disney Cruise Line IT doing during the last year?
Do we think Disney will ever change to, like, I know Carnival from when I started to now, they changed to do a number of days.
I mean, literally every other cruise line in the entire industry bases their loyalty program by the number of nights. And then some of them do it based on the cabin type. So if you book a suite, you might get
more points.
Yeah.
But that's to reflect the amount of money that you have spent with the company, as opposed to the number of cruises. I think that Disney Cruise Line is afraid to make any change because for some people who have and it's not even really gaming the system, they're doing what the system has allowed. But for folks who have 30 3-night cruises, you could literally go on 4 of those transatlantics and then have way more than them.
Well, and that's, I guess, the point is I would be, and even using their own system, because they're doing it still based on the number of cruises versus the number of nights, I'm 4 levels lower in platinum than I could have been if they did it based on the number of nights.
Right.
Even if you figure out the 25 times 3 or whatever, there's just wasn't the best way, and not just because I'm feeling bitter because I don't get to book to the 4th day.
But Steve, my opinion is this system isn't here to stay. My opinion
I don't
is
think
that
it's here.
a 25 plus platinum is a clunky way to refer to someone, and Disney would want something more polished. So I think that they will have silver, gold, platinum, and then it'll be like diamond,
right?
And then it'll be like pixie dust, and then it'll be like you know, Atlantean gem or something.
Yeah.
So I think they'll have to do it that way because it's just not polished this way. It just sounds clunky to be like, I'm a 25 plus platinum. It's like, cool.
I think they knew that the demand for the Wish was going to be so high that they just threw something together real quick. We got to do something.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head there, Brad. They kind of threw it together at the last minute to. I mean, I think some people can disagree with me on this, but I think it was fair to allow people that had been on so many cruises to have that first shot. But as to how you dictate who is really in that elite club, Christy, I think you and Brad make some good points as far as the days as well. Well, we're kind of running out of time. It's already an hour's gone by, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. There was one question. I guess I'll throw it out there from Kate. Any speculation as to when cruising will start? Anybody have any opinions on that? Holly, Brad, do you guys have any ideas?
I hope it starts up before November because I've got a cruise booked in November. But
So,
yeah.
I think some are going to start in July. I don't think Disney will. Obviously, Disney extended. I think Disney may start back August, September.
July's a little tight, even like the other lines at this point being so far into May, because they need at least 60 days. And have we been
to get
hearing
their crew back and
they
get
still,
everything ready.
the problem is that other countries aren't able to vaccinate as quickly. And remember that for companies that are requiring that and or people that are going to get vaccinated, it's only been like 4 weeks since anybody could even, in most of the United States locations, could even get vaccinated past those age groups. So most people still aren't even at and except for the older population that was able to get in, or people like Steve that were in the airline industry and stuff like that. Most of the population is still in the middle of their vaccination cycles, and they need to have all those crew vaccinated. And like Canada, they're like extending out the number of weeks in between the shots to get more people with. So there's a lot of people. There's a lot of, what would be the right words, guys, in other countries, complications with getting these people vaccinated to be able to get them to the ships.
Yeah, I have said from maybe like last year that my best guess is 6 months after the vaccine is widely available. And the vaccine has really only been widely available for about a month. So my guess is the fall. I think that, Holly, your cruise has a pretty good chance of going. Because
I hope so.
Because also, let's not forget that most of Disney's cruise business is out of Florida. And in terms of like...
well, then they could go tomorrow.
Reopening procedures. Florida is very quick with the policy changes. So
everybody can walk around. Everybody should start hugging.
Well, you can take that cruise already. Just jump on the boat from Copper Creek and take it over to the Magic Kingdom.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can take the Jungle Cruise.
Well, you can take
There's
the Jungle Cruise too. All right.
One other point is that most of the cruise lines are also, when they're getting their crew on, keeping them quarantined for 14 days to keep them separated from everybody else, even though they've had COVID tests coming in and blah, 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 all the COVID all the time, but they're still keeping them separate. So it's even, they have to like get the clearance and get the go ahead and do all the things and then still get the crew on, and they have to do all that training again to get them certified. So it's like the 2 weeks plus then the certification time to get them to be able to assist. Because remember, just like flight attendants are not there to give us our coffee, although, and our beverages, which is the reason we love them so much. But they are there to protect us if something goes wrong. And the crew isn't there to make our beds 17 times a day and to bring us 14 courses with our dinner. They're there to protect us and to get us off the ship if something were to happen. And we would all want that to occur, right? So it takes a minute to get them even up to date to be able to prepare to do that.
Well, they also have to, not only do they have to bring back all the crew, but a lot of that crew will have moved on or found other jobs or doing other things. Yeah. And they now have to add a fifth of the crew they already have to accommodate the new ship. So from a logistics standpoint, train. And also, usually what Disney has done is provided seniority for the newer ships to let people who have a lot of seniority who want to sail on the newer ship to go over to that ship and train everybody because they have experience. But everybody in Disney Cruise Line is going to be a little green because they have not been doing their job for over a year. So I do think it's going to be a walk before we run situation, but I'm still optimistic for you, Holly, because November is actually fairly far away. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not that close.
And it's end of November, so
yeah.
Are you on a Very Merry? Well, obviously it's the end.
Yeah.
November. Yeah.
Very Merry on the Magic. We've never sailed. It was supposed to be our Grand Slam last year for our 40th wedding anniversary, and it got canceled. Which I knew it was going to get canceled because I was able to get Palo Brunch. And I was able to get a cabana on Serenity Bay. And when I got that, I said to my husband, it's going to be canceled. And it got canceled. so yeah.
We're supposed to be on the Magic in November too. So over Thanksgiving. So if you're on that one, maybe we'll see you on that.
I don't know if it's over Thanksgiving. I think it's right after Thanksgiving. Is that the one you're on?
We're the one that I think it ends the day after Thanksgiving. So
and we'll wave at you as we're getting on the ship.
Yeah, we'll hopefully warm up the ship for you or keep the beds warm for you. How's that? So
that works.
Yeah. All right. Well, as we get out of here tonight, let's some things that we do know are the next up bookings. Christy, you want to talk about that, and then maybe if somebody's looking for a travel agent, how to get a hold of you. And Holly and Brad will give you some final thoughts too. So give you a couple of seconds there to think about what you want to say before we get out of here. But Christy, why don't you go over the bookings?
So tomorrow, May 18th, Platinum 20 plus can book starting at 8 a.m. Eastern. Remember, you have to call Disney Cruise Line in order to book. Wednesday is Platinum 15 plus, booking by calling. Thursday, we can finally hit the turn of the century and book online or by calling. And Monday, all of the gold members, gold cruisers. So Steve, you can book on Monday, and then
me.
Yep. And then Tuesday, which is a new category, Disney Vacation Club. And it says must call member services, but Steve, actually, your travel agent could book you with your Disney Vacation Club member number by calling Disney Cruise Line. So just so you know, you can still call, or your travel agent can still book it for you. And then, or ABD Adventures by Disney Insiders. Again, you can call your travel agent for both of those. And then Wednesday, Silver. So Chris, you get to book. And then finally, Brad, on the 27th, you can book. The general public can book.
What's Golden Oaks?
I think Golden Oaks. I'm sorry, Brad. I didn't know.
Golden Oaks got to book last month. So don't worry, they're already booked.
They're over in Germany picking out their cabins already. So.
They're in the two-bedroom funnel.
Yeah. So if somebody is looking to use a travel agent, Christy, I know you do an amazing job for everybody that does, but how can they get a hold of you?
Reach out to me at Christy@packyourpixiedust.com is my email, or you can even call me. My phone number for my travel agent phone number, and I always have to remind people it's not a texting number, it's like an actual phone number.
It's a landline?
So, kind
Sorry, I threw you off there, Christy.
I know, sorry. That number is on my website. So instead of putting it in the open airways, just go to packyourpixiedust.com, go to the About section, and it's in there. And also, it's on my Facebook page. We have a picture right towards the top of the Pack Your Pixie Dust Facebook page that has my phone number on there as well, and my email address if you need it.
Well, as we get out of here, we were going to talk about some other topics. We might have to put together another live show this month or so. We'll see what we can put together, what we can fit in. But Chris, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, I want to go on the Wish.
I want to go on the Wish.
And I want to do it next summer. I don't want to. I want to be at least in the first wave of people. It doesn't have to be the first cruise, but sometime in the first wave. And yeah, I'm excited. Honestly, I've already said it in our previous show, but they really changed a lot of the ship, and I like change. I think change is fun. I hope that they quickly announce that they're going to redo the old staterooms on the old ships and that they're going to add new experiences to the old ships, because I think the fleet should constantly be updating, especially when your fleet is as small as the Disney Cruise Line fleet. There is no major cruise line like Disney with such a small number of ships, which is one of the reasons why they had ordered 3 ships even before the pandemic. So
they have to update the menus, right? They have to, right? Everybody's like, we should not know every single ship, every single night's meal.
Way before you get there.
Right. Like still at this point, that better all be changed.
They're going with tried and true.
Well, let's end and give our guests the floor as we get out of here. Brad, Holly, who wants to go first? Any final thoughts?
Brad does.
Okay.
I'm excited. I love cruising. Excited to try the Disney Dream in December. Hopefully, please, everybody get your vaccine so I can go on the Dream. And then the Wish next year, just to see the Disney difference. How about that?
Perfect. Holly, how about you?
Pretty much the same. I'm just excited about it. Glad I got through. Hope that when they call me back for payment, I'll actually get the stateroom that they told me I was going to get. And I'm just really looking forward to it. So, and I really enjoyed being on the show. I wasn't crazy about doing this, but I enjoyed it.
You have to think you're done.
Because I started listening during the pandemic, and it was a joy to kind of live vicariously through other people taking trips.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, thanks you guys for taking the time out today. Holly, tell your daughter thanks for kind of pushing you our way. We really appreciate it too. So, and when you guys get back from the, you guys will both be on cruises before then. If you want to come back and talk about the Dream or the Magic, Holly, Brad, but definitely when you get back off the Wish next summer, we'd love to have you back on and kind of hear your experiences after you guys go on that cruise. So,
Sure.
I guess as we finish up out of here, Christy, any last thoughts? Since I left you out, no. Okay.
You've been leaving me out all evening. Perfect ending.
That's your last thought. Well, on behalf of the 3 of us, we just want to say thank you for coming on. We're glad you got your wish. I had to get that pun out there today. All right. Well, thanks you guys. And as we kind of close out, you guys are going to disappear. Just stay on. This is for us, not for everybody listening. Just stay on, and I'll pop you back up right after this. But thanks again for everybody for coming back and taking a listen. We'll see you next time on the DCL podcast.
Bye.